This is Active Recall, episode 3. I'm talking about Tim Ferriss's appearance on Chase Jarvis's show, 30 Days of Genius. They talk about it's like an hour and a half, but the part I'm talking about right now that has stuck with me are two focusing questions and then this idea of being sustainable and consistent. Tim talks about creating the podcast, and when he started, he had one focusing question, which was, what would it look like if it were easy? He knew he wanted next to no post-production, and he could get there by having long conversations so that there would be next to no editing. Chase says the same thing is what he aimed for with his show, and he would do long format in a studio with 100 people max, and he would, as a stylistic choice, he would have it in black and white so that there were less choices to make with different kinds of lighting. You could flip that question over and it can be, am I making this harder than it needs to be? Back to podcasting, Tim says that a lot of podcasts out there have 3 episodes and then they go silent, and it's likely because they made it harder than it needs to be. So it's pretty easy to get caught up in audio equipment and all of this audio equipment and all these other choices that don't really matter that much because people Tim knew that his audience would be listening through headphones, doing something else a lot of times. So it just needed to be intelligible and loud enough. Tim says that there's a place for hard work, but it's probably not in picking equipment. He says that his hard work is in batching. So in the 4-hour work week, he talks about doing his email in batches instead of checking it every 5 to 10 minutes. He only checks it a couple times a day. He records his podcasts in batches as well, so he'll record on Mondays and Fridays. So on Monday, he'll do 2 or 3 episodes. On Fridays, he'll do 2 or 3 episodes, and with weekly episodes, that is a month and a half of content, which altogether allows him to have a sustainable system and release content consistently. So sustainable and consistent. I'm trying to make these videos and also have started a podcast with a friend. I'm going to use this focusing question. What would it look like if it were easy? Am I making this harder than it needs to be? And hopefully I can also have a sustainable system and release content consistently. Thanks for listening.